From the National Weather Service in Raleigh, it's Nick Petro with your routine weekly briefing for Central North Carolina. This is the Thursday edition for those wanting information about this weekend and perhaps early next week. This briefing covers the 5th through the 11th of January. And first, let me say Happy New Year to everyone. I know it's been a while since I've done one of these briefings, so I haven't had a chance to wish everyone that. So I hope everybody's having a great start to your 2023, and I hope everybody had a great holiday season as well. So good to be with you here this morning, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. So I always like to start off with my big picture view, the 30,000 foot view, so to speak. Let's see, we got radar, we got visible satellite. Let me put some current readings on here, and a couple things you'll notice right away as I zoom in. Some important features. You can see how the temperatures here along the coast are in the 70s, low 70s, upper 60s. And if you go back towards the Triad in the foothills, it's mid 50s to around 60. So clearly there's a sort of a dividing line, if you will. Let's call it a cold front right here, and coincident with these clouds you see. And that's what's going on as I change it to wind. You could see which way is the wind blowing from. Well, it's not really bringing in. See, we look at the wind to see what is coming our way, right? So when the surface wind is from the southwest, and let's say you're in Greenville, okay, which I know technically is outside of the Raleigh CWA, but if you want to see, is which way is the wind blowing from the south, right? Well, when the wind's blowing from the southwest, the air to the southwest of them is moving their way, right? So you could see not a whole lot of change in what you see right now is what you get, because everything's coming up from sort of the southwest, which is fairly uniform. So it's going to take a while for all of this to gradually shift eastward, okay? So it's not going to be like this major, wholesale change in temperature or environment this afternoon. It's just going to the cooler air is just going to gradually sort of ooze our way into our area. Let me zoom out here, and you could see there's back here over the Tennessee Valley, temperatures in this region right here in eastern Tennessee are in the 50s. Okay, and then of course you've got some really cold air over the north and central plains. We're not going to see that type of air mass, but when we look to our west, eventually, even though I said the wind was from the southwest, eventually this whole pattern is going to move east. So eventually we'll get into this type of air mass probably tomorrow. And, if you're thinking, that's readings in the upper 40s, maybe lower 50s. Well, remember, we've got a mountain range right here, and the coldest air stays trapped and blocked by the mountains, and if it downslopes, it warms a little bit. So by the time it gets here, these low 50s will probably be more like mid 50s tomorrow over our area. Okay. The other thing I wanted to point out real quick is the dew point, which is a measure of the moisture content to the atmosphere at the surface dew points. So in other words, what does a dew point of 54 mean? Well, it means if the air temperature, which is 61, if you suddenly made the air temperature 61 and then lowered it to 54 and the dew point's 54, then the temperature and the dew point would match, and that would mean the atmosphere is saturated. That would be the point at which dew forms, right? So, the bigger the difference in these numbers, like look at Greensboro, 60 air temperature versus a 42 air mass. Well, that means the temperature would have to fall, 20 degrees or so before it's saturated. So in other words, the lower this number, the drier the air is, and you can see that's coincident with fairly fewer clouds. So you can clearly see there's a boundary here along I-95 that separates the really dry air from the mid 50s dew points, which by the way is somewhat unseasonable, mid 50s dew points. So what else are we going to show here? Let's take off the temperatures, and let's put on here some just big picture weather pattern stuff. And what we have here is the general pattern. You see a ridge here. You see a low pressure center trough, if you will, with its axis sort of like that. You see another ridge well to our east and northeast. You see a trough here right along the west coast. So typically the way these things work is right along and just behind the trough axis, all the way over to the ridge axis, you tend to have real nice weather. And then on the front side of these troughs, like you see right here, that's where the weather occurs. So the bottom line here is, and again, another situation here is weather on the front side of this trough. As this whole pattern shifts from west to east, you could see, if I just take those lines off, you can see where our weather's coming from, right? So this is tomorrow's weather. This is Saturday's weather. And this is Sunday's weather. So we're going to have a nice day tomorrow. Lots of sunshine, clear skies, albeit cooler. We'll have plenty of sunshine on Saturday. Beautiful day with this air and this part of the trough and ridge pattern coming. So this whole part of this ridge is going to give us nice weather on Saturday. But then once we get into Sunday, then this trough is going to be kind of approaching us, and we'll be on the front side of that trough. So maybe that's our next chance for some light rain. All right, so that's sort of, if you will, sort of a big picture look at things. We'll get back to our slides, and the slides won't take us very long because this is all low impact stuff. Again, unseasonably warm today, but temperatures will fall back to near normal for the weekend as that cooler air mass comes in from the west. As I pointed out on the description just a moment ago, we'll have plenty of sunshine Friday and Saturday. That trough approaching the west coast right now will give us a 30% chance for rain on Sunday once it gets here. And then behind that, it'll be dry again, as it typically is behind troughs. And then slightly above normal temps Monday into Tuesday. No real, that system's coming from the Pacific, right? So the air behind that is more Pacific, tropical Pacific, tropical maritime type air mass, which is warmer than something coming out of the continental regions. So again, above normal temps Monday and Tuesday. And then the next trough behind that, which is way out in the Pacific right now, will give us another chance for some light rain Tuesday night into Wednesday. Overall, when you look at the impact of all this, it's going to be pretty low. I don't see any winter weather during this briefing period. It's not going to get real cool. It'll cool down to closer to normal over the weekend and starting tomorrow, but not cool enough where we have to worry about any kind of frozen precipitation when that weather system gets here on Sunday. Okay, and that pattern will continue right through the middle of next week and beyond. No rain today, no rain tomorrow, no rain Saturday. Whatever rain we get on Sunday is really, really light and then dry on Monday. All right, no flash flood risk, no severe weather risk. All right. And then looking even further down the road, the middle of next week to the following weekend, a continuation of above normal temperatures. But again, remember, every 3 days or so, we're seeing one of these troughs come through. So the Climate Prediction Center has us with above normal risk, or above normal odds, I should say, for precip during that 8 to 14 day period. So again, that would be valid the 12th through the 18th of January. So, we might, get a little bit of rain, but it should be with above normal temperatures. It should be liquid. All right. We could use a little bit more liquid east of 995. That's where the drought lingers. All right. But even there, it's not terribly bad. It's moderate right now. Believe me, I'm sure folks east of I-95 are saying, send me some more rain. We'll take it. You might get that chance here as we get a weather system every, 2.5 to 3 days move across. So that wraps up our briefing here on seasonably warm today. Again, falling back to near normal beginning tomorrow. And then it'll be kind of normal-ish, if you will, for the weekend. Plenty of sunshine, though, tomorrow and Saturday. Enjoy that. That next weather system approaching the Pacific, the Eastern Pacific and West Coast is going to get here on Sunday. Give us a low-end chance for rain. What rain we do see will be very light. Real nice weather Monday into Tuesday, a little bit above normal. And then a chance for some light rain Tuesday night into Wednesday. No hazardous weather is expected during this time. No winter weather is expected during this time. And really, we're going to, I think, slip through the next week or two without any major winter concerns. Again, save for maybe these brief periods where we fall back to near normal. Okay, but what is normal? Well, in case you're wondering that, you can find that out real easy. You can go to weather.gov/Raleigh, click on our climate section here, right? And then from there, you can go to RDU, Greensboro, or Fayetteville. Why those three locations? Well, because those are our official climate sites. So, pick the one that's closest to you. All right. And then if you go there, you can see, well, what is normal? Well, let's see here. January, what's today? January 5th. Well, we would have a normal high temperature of 52 degrees and a normal low of 32. So anyway, that's about where we'll be, maybe even a degree or two above normal Friday, Saturday, and Sunday compared to that. But we'll be closer to that than we have been. All right, so with that, I think that wraps up our slides here, and I hope everybody has a great weekend.